There it is. Oh my God.
That's it, where they're in the shell.
Can you put this up full, please, with me on top of it? So there it is. You can see the tornado. Looks like it's near the lower 9. On one side of the screen, now we've got the power flashes. It is on the ground. Get to your safe place right now, moving to the northeast. So I am very concerned about this. Debris in the air in Arabi. There's the lower 9. This area right here, homes are being damaged right now. But the hook is right here. This is where you've got that tornado. And then let's put in the storm relative velocity. So this is where you have got the tornado, the actual tornado, right by Law Street, lower 9. There's Patricia. I think Patricia was hit.
Yeah.
By the Arabi tornado.
It was Gretna, 9th Street.
It was.
It was one of the main locations.
It was.
Also, Arthur Lawson, the police chief in Gretna, says that they have damage on 9th Street in Gretna from a possible tornado.
Okay, damage on 9th Street.
That's right through Old
Gretna.
Yeah.
Old Gretna, yeah. And so, we're just
my
moving.
heart is truly broken for all of these people who, in the same year, have had to deal with a major tornado.
Friscoville, right near Old Arabi, their hero was hit. He's going out to the scene right now, Guy McGinnis, the parish president.
Yeah.
So,
okay, great.
When it originated, 9th Street, Gretna, right in here, you can see 5th to 11th right in there, and it's taken the track all the way through it, right over the expressway, right through Algiers, across the river, right through Arabi, and is now over Patricia. Right on that line I just drew.
There it was.
Right
we
on
have
that
had
line.
debris that entire area. So it's moving to the northeast from this point right here, and it's moving northeast fairly quickly at about 35 miles per hour. That tornado warning still in effect. Thankfully, it looks like it's truly going to push into those marshy areas.
Mishu here in just the next 3 minutes and 4 minutes. Then you get into Chef here in the nenext 16 minutes or so. That it's more likely really starting to fall apart, very weakening structure to it.
Okay, so Guy McGinnis is going through Friscoville. He does have several homes damaged, a roof off of a home. They're now looking to see if anybody is hurt.
The Gretna mayor, Belinda Constant, says most of the damage is between 4th and 6th Street in Gretna, an area called McDonoughville in Gretna between 4th and 6th Street.
Travers, what's
Arthur
your
Lawson
report?
says stay out of the area between 4th and 6th. They have power lines down and homes without roofs in the McDonoughville area of Gretna by 4th and 6th Street.
This is now about to come up to where the tornado just hit. So there's another wall of very strong winds that's going to be coming in. And I don't like to see this inflection with the bow echo. So this is something we really have to watch close with, not only just heavy rain rates, but strong wind gusts within there. And there it is. This is all coming over West Bank, right over again in towards around Uptown, Garden District, and everything too in between.
400 strikes, 15 minutes in this area that we are seeing right now. Serious lightning offshore. What we watch for are these cells that are away from the main line, right? And so look at how these cells near Grand Isle are moving to the north. Meanwhile, you've got the squall line that's moving to the east, and where these two meet up, that's where you can get some rotation taking place. So at this point, stay inside. Let's look at this big picture and just show, oh, wow, that's a big storm right there. That's gonna, it's like a fist that's hitting you. You're gonna have high winds without. That is the bow echo. We have very heavy rain right now, a whole lot of lightning right over Orleans Parish, Uptown New Orleans, Lower Garden District. Significant lightning is occurring, extending down into Marrero as well. This is very heavy rain. Certainly a whole lot of tree damage. We had reports of house damage. There you can see fences down, awnings down. We had reports of homes damaged, trees damaged, power poles down. There you go. Oh, no. Tell me exactly where this is. In St. Charles. Look at this. This is Kelowna. Houses damaged, cars bounced around, houses on top of cars. This is really bad damage that we're seeing in Kelowna right now.
Reports of tornadoes touching down in St. Charles Parish, the city of Gretna, and in St. Bernard Parish. St. Bernard still recovering from that March tornado storm that was deadly just a few months ago.
We do have a fatality, unfortunately, to report in St. Charles Parish in Kelowna, which is where the tornadoes began today.
As soon as we were dispatched here to St. Charles Parish, we were told go to Schoolhouse Road, and this is exactly the reason why. Behind me, just take a look of where that tornado absolutely ripped through this small community. Kelowna, this neighborhood I'm standing in right now, is really only 4 or 5 blocks long, and about 3 of them have really been decimated by this strong storm that came through. Incredibly powerful lightning. My photographer Drew McAllister and I were on our way here across the river and saw the brightest strike of lightning I've ever seen in my life, to be quite honest with you. And you can just see that speaks to the intensity of this storm. Now, some homes, it looks like, I believe the one you're looking at right now, obviously suffered a lot of damage, but maybe it is repairable. There are others where people are going to be starting over from scratch.
You can see what the tornado did here. This used to be a large shed, a bunch of tools inside. You can see there's a trailer behind it that had the roof ripped off. No one was inside of either of those structures. And then, as you can see, if Stephen pans over toward the railroad tracks, just the trees all getting skimmed like they were knocked down with a weed whacker. And you were telling me as you were going down the hallway in this house, your shoes got ripped off your feet because the wind.
Out here, because we were over by my house and we ran over here about in this area. My shoes flew off, and then I tried to come up, and the wind blew me into the bushes right here. Then we ran inside.
This used to be glassed in. This is where they had their Christmas tree, all of their Christmas presents, and you can see now it is just a pile of construction material.
What is the most new information that you can give us at this hour?
Right now we have 1 confirmed death and we have 7 injuries. If you don't have any place to go, you can head to the St. Charles Parish Community Center at 274 Judge Edward Dufresne Parkway in Luling. If there's something you need, something that we can get to you, please just call the EOC.
You could hardly see anything as the tornado, the water spout, just passed over the water onto the bridge, and then you saw all the cars flashing their lights.
That's Gretna, where we're getting that damage. So, y'all, this has just been a really rough day. Now we have another tornado warning.
We just had confirmation of a tornado lower Plaquemines for the one that moved over Bohemian.
Right,
so that's an observed
So
tornado. Let's go down south, but that's the one that we had. Yeah, so this has now been a tornado observed.
It is now over water. It crossed Plaquemines Parish. So the next concern is moving into St. Bernard, but it's going to be the real marshy areas of St. Bernard. So that's the good news.
There was a lot of damage really starting here where we are in Marrero, and then just on the other side of the expressway, about a mile back in the other direction towards the Crescent City connection is a huge path of destruction. Fences down, rooftops torn apart, streets blocked, power lines down. It's a long path of damage.
Hey guys, yes, we're here in Kelowna as night is starting to fall, but you can see the damage behind us. That's actually Parish President Matt Jewell, who is standing off in the distance, surveying this damage firsthand, talking to first responders who have been out here most of the day. One woman describing how she was actually lying in her bed with her niece, who is a baby, and a tree fell on that bed right next to where that baby was. They actually had to toss the baby to safety to the baby's mother. Everyone in that home is okay. Their trailer, obviously not.
I'm on the River Road, right across the Mississippi River from where Morgan was just talking to you in Kelowna. And you can see it looks like this tornado just skipped right across the river and it hit homes like these. See, the brick house did not fare so well. It looks like someone just took a hot knife through the top of that house and just sliced it right open. They're already starting to get that wired up. They've been working on some of the lines, assessing those now. Right on the other side of that window was a 96-year-old grandmother sitting in her recliner. She said she just felt her recliner start to move as the tornado came through. What she didn't realize was that window and part of her roof was already gone. Guys, I don't want to add insult to injury here, but the reason that this couple was living in the trailer and not in this brick home is because they were just renovating it from Hurricane Ida. They're going to have to start back over from scratch after today's tornado.
I mean, our city from the Harvey line to the Algiers line has completely was severed, like a path that's clearly visible. Houses collapsed, roofs are gone, buildings, cars turned over. It's just an incredible, unfortunate scene. There's power lines everywhere.
You can see the roof of my shade. And somehow the wind took damage and stuff. Half of my chicken yard. You know, in the inside, from the inside, you could come and look from the inside how much damage I got. We just got some light, and the floor's all wet for the water. And that's about it. And my trailer, I was skirting it, all that coming loose.
The impact's just devastating at this time. Take a look. I mean, lots of down power lines. St. Bernard Parish squad cars, ambulances speeding throughout this area.
We hear that there could be a possible structure down in Algiers and that crews are at the scene.
A potential structure collapse there that was immediately responded to by members of the New Orleans Fire Department, New Orleans EMS, and the police department. They did treat 4 people.
Fletcher is live at the scene to show us exactly what Mr. Arnold was talking about.
We can't actually get close to the structure. I'm going to step out of the way. This is the best we can do for you right now, about a half a block away. Law enforcement officials tell us that it's a collapsed structure, it's power lines, and it's a gas leak. So that's why we can't get any closer right now.
You can see some of the debris here and a downed power line. I did get some information from Entergy Louisiana, and we don't have the full scope yet of the power outages, but it looks like there are at least 38,000 people just with Entergy New Orleans who are in the dark tonight. You can see the debris. It was tossed all the way up against these railroad tracks. You can see some insulation, some ductwork there. And Stephen, if you turn to your left, you can see that they just coat the trees. It's like they've been decorated for Christmas with debris instead of ornaments.
Lord, to behold, if I take a lane on the ground, it tore everything from the track, from right there, that corner over there, all the way back down to Schoolhouse Road.
So heartbreaking that a woman in this neighborhood passed away. We want to be respectful with her. I know her name has not been released at this time.
And I'm shaking her like this. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. He said, Belle, she gone. I said, boy, that girl ain't gone. I said, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. He said, Belle, I'm telling you, she gone. And I just broke for a second, and I just had to walk away.
Right now, we don't want this area actually to be powered up yet. So in the area where there's damage, there's a lot of poles down. There's a lot of wires in the street. We have to be very careful how we're walking. And I want to thank you all in the media, because talking to a lot of these people in the neighborhoods, I'm asking them how they found out. Many of them were watching TV and hearing you all saying it's coming your way, it's getting to the Harvey Marrero area, and they took cover.
I want to get the way to show you what we're seeing here right now. I know it's a bit dark here, but look at this tree, guys. This massive tree right here on Livingston Street was knocked over. That's how powerful this storm was from earlier today. I spoke to a gentleman. He's 82 years old. He was sitting down watching Margaret Orr give the forecast and letting people know when this tornado could possibly touch down. And as soon as we saw the video of it hit Arabi, his wife came to the front of the house and said, "You need to come seek shelter." As soon as he got up from his couch, the wind from that storm blew him over well into his hallway, and he landed onto his wife. You see law enforcement coming behind me right now, trying to do as best they can right now to drive by, see what's going on. We've also seen people helping out their neighbors, even though they're having issues from damage from this tornado. I've seen folks driving by saying, hey, do you need a tarp on your roof? Hey, do you need anything? That just shows you how these folks here in Arabi are coming together to not only help themselves, but also to help their fellow neighbors.
The gymnasium is open here at the community center, but they don't have cots right now. But still, this is a much warmer and drier and safer place. There are bathrooms here. People can be comfortable and get out of, all that destruction that we saw in Kelowna.
Now, the cold front has moved through. There are a lot of people without power. So you've got a dramatic change for tomorrow morning, because you're going to have lows in the 40s and 50s and highs only in the low 60s. So you need to find a way to stay warm if you don't have power. There, look at the power outages showing exactly where the tornado went. What a day today. That tornado crossed the lake and actually helped form these tornadoes. There are the looks at the tornadoes that touched down. That was in Talashiq at about 3:05. And then we look at what happened here. We had the tornado from Harvey to Gretna, and then it moved right into Arabi.
Look at this tree behind me. You can see about 15 feet up. it just splintered and dropped. Way far off in the distance, if you see those blinking lights, those are some electric crews out there. We have seen the linemen, even though the sun has gone down, even though it is dark tonight, even though they've been out working in the rain for hours. They're still out here trying to assess the damage. As I was driving down the Levee Road, really from St. Charles Parish to St. John the Baptist Parish, you could see what looked like a couple different areas where there was some skidding and some trees down where it really looked like there was a tornado path that could have potentially come through.
Trees were splitting in half. That's just how strong this wind was when we were going through this. You can see walking down the street here on Community Street, near Community Street, fences down, power lines completely toppled over. A lot of the community members in this area are really just trying to assess the damage around these homes. Fortunately, no one was hurt in this area, and that's one of the things many people are counting their blessings for right now. People are just cleaning up, and that's going to be the big thing. Tomorrow's the cleanup process, and it's really not safe right now to be cleaning up because of all these down power lines over here, and you just never know what you're going to run into.
The home that you're looking at right now lost its roof. The roof was completely ripped off of this house right now. The people that live there have some friends visiting, and they are taking what they can, clothes and other prized possessions, to get it out of the house. The power has been restored, at least to this portion of Gretna, and when we came here, we saw other portions of Gretna that had the power back on.
I was watching the WDSU broadcast, and Margaret Orr said to take cover. It was right over Araby, and we went into the closet and took shelter. We could feel the house vibrating and hear the loud roaring sound like a train. We're grateful to be alive, and we just wanted to see how we can help others in the neighborhood.
And look at this, guys. Look how large this is. This has been traveling a mile, more than a mile. The wind just picked it up. The power lines kind of tangled in there.
I was sitting here on a chair watching the news on the TV, and she jumped up and she hollered, "It's coming, it's coming." It blew me out the chair all the way into the hall back here.
All the way to the hall?
Yeah. All I heard was, woof, woof, and that was it. The windows everything was flying around the house, them chairs, all that stuff over there was flying around, and I wound up in the hall, and the police had to come pick me up.
And we seen like little sparks and stuff flying, and I just threw her the baby. And when I threw her the baby, we tried to hurry up and get out there.
It's very heartbreaking. I just thank God that I'm alive, because I just thought I wasn't going to make it. Everything I own, what I do have is gone.
It's destroyed.
It's gone. It's destroyed.
They jumped into the bathtub in a brick home just in time, and the roof was sucked off of that home. The walls and windows all collapsed. It is devastated. They both survived.
This is Allison Alexander. Her family just confirmed to me that she was killed today in today's tornado.
She still means the world to me, and if anybody knew her and knew my mama, they know that she would give anybody the clothes off her back. She would help whoever was in need. That was my mom.
There was actually a family that was trapped in this home here. I mean, that entire part of the roof just completely collapsed. It's one of those things where the rescuers had to go and crawl to get right in.
It actually lifted the house. It felt like it lifted the house up off the ground while we were in it.
We want to break down the power outages and kind of walk you through neighborhood by neighborhood. First off, Jefferson Parish has the most power out, 23,000, followed by the city of New Orleans with 8,000 power outages. We're just getting a breaking news update. Looking at the map, parts of Algiers and Algiers Point, right there we're zooming in, just came back on.
At the Sheriff's Office, we are working extra crews tonight. We'll have plenty work in the residential and business areas of the areas without power.
I did declare a state of emergency earlier tonight, so that has been done. The whole area that I'm talking about has been secure with barricades.
Now, assessment and restoration activities are currently in progress, and safe restoration will continue throughout the night.
The message that people received, especially here in Gretna, and the media did their job. We have no fatalities in Jefferson Parish.
2 schools that will be closed tomorrow, West Jeff High School and Marrero Middle.
Yeah, West Jeff did have some damage. We should also point out local law enforcement from the area coming to Gretna to help that police department. The city of Kenner sending officers over tomorrow to try to make sure that when they start picking up the pieces, they have all the assistance that they need.